project to the business card. So we're just going to go through the project brief here and then quickly go through the process book instructions for this week. So as you can see, this project you're going to be designing a business card, a front and back of the card. So the front will have all the information and we'll go over exactly what you need on it in a moment, and the back will be a more illustrative kind of pattern-based design where you can play with some colors and letters and shapes and things to make a little pattern for the back. So let's look at the specifications here. So for this project, you're only allowed to use fonts from the class font set. You are to use your name or letters of your name as major design elements. As you can see here, this person created a little monogram and then used it as a pattern on the back. You should have the size be a standard business card size, 3.5 by 2 inches. It could be horizontal or vertically oriented. So this one's horizontal, but you can also do it to the opposite way. And as far as things that must be on your business card, it must have your name, title, street address, 2 phone numbers, email, at least 1 social link, and a web address. And if you don't feel comfortable using your personal information here, feel free to just make up information. You won't be docked points or anything. Just make sure you have all of these pieces in place on the card. So this card must be for a designer, so consider yourself a designer when you're making this, even if your major is something else or you have another job. For the sake of this project, we're just sticking with your title is web or graphic designer and nothing else. So feel free to edit this after the class to suit your needs, but for this project it should only be that, web or graphic design. Okay, so let's see. There's no illustration or photography on this. So you can have freedom to use type and color and kind of basic shapes and patterns like this example shows, but don't bring in any photography, no illustration. This is a typographic card, so everything should be type-based. Type should be the star, as we are in typography, so we don't want the focus to be on an illustration or a pattern or anything. You will need 2 to 3 colors. In later process books, we'll talk about what spot colors are, but basically you just need 2 to 3 colors total, no more than that. And then these things will be addressed later on in the process book, what you need to do for those. Okay, so finish reading through this before you begin so you know what you're getting into. This project will be the next 3 weeks. So let's look at the week 4 process book right over here. Okay, so the first step this week will be your visual research. You're going to want to find 36 examples of different business cards. It talks about places you can find them. You can look on Dribbble, AIGA, ComArts, Pentagram. I would add Pinterest is a good place to search for business cards. And you will find 36 examples and lay them out here. I've started this file over here. Oh, there we go. So just kind of like this, make sure that you're cropping in on them so they fill the square provided. You'll do 36 of those. And then the next step here, step 2, compare and contrast. You're going to choose 6 of those example cards and put them in to this section here. So you'll lay out them 6 horizontally across the top and then answer these questions for each of them. So they want to see that you can identify all the different parts and extract the information from the cards here. So make sure you fill all those out. And then you're going to choose one of the cards that you found in your research section and you will recreate it here. So let's jump back over to our example to see what that looks like. So I, for this example, chose this card for Brody Anderson, who's the owner of this surf shop. And so as you can see down here, I took that little photo and as close as I could, I tried to match the fonts and the layout on the card. So all of this is live text and I've literally just copied what he did. So copying examples of professional work is a great way to try and learn what they're doing, to see the fonts they're using, the relationships they're building. It's just a really good exercise for you to try and copy existing design, and you'll get a feel for styles and trends that are popular and how things work together. So it's a really good exercise. So here I recreated it and then I dragged this down here below and then I added this grid on it. So grids are an essential thing in typography and any design really. You're always going to want to start with a grid before you start designing anything with a lot of type in it. So the grid helps you organize things on a page so you can see relationships like this margin is the same as this margin and this space here is the same width as this block of text. So you're going to take that existing design and just kind of map out the grid that you see on it down here. Make sure you answer these little questions over here. What kind of font is it, the style, and the alignment. And then the next step will be where you start doing your thumbnails. So you're going to print out this page and you're going to do 25 thumbnails, exploring different ideas for a layout of business card. These can be as loose or as tight as you want, just enough to get the idea across to you, to get your ideas down on a paper so that you can later refer to this when you start your comps. So do 25, then scan this back in, use these little numbers to identify your top 5 decisions or choices, the ones you think turned out the best. And then in step 5, you will start your digital sketches. So you'll take your favorites of those sketches we just looked at and put them in here. I started kind of an example over here. So there's the concept thumbnails. Hopefully yours look a little bit better than my quick sketches here. I want a little bit more information than that. And then you'll transform them into these digital sketches. So you'll take your best ones from that last page of sketches, and these ones are now done digitally. So we have live text using actual fonts, and you can just start mapping them out right here on this page. So you will fill this page and then pick your favorites. And then that is where you're going to leave off for this week so that next week we can jump in and do more refined sketches. So you will end on step 5, and that's it for the project this week. And then you'll make sure to do these activities, the letter drawing activity, be doing Trade Gothic this week. Your visual type journal this week, you're looking for type in your environment, specifically examples of typography on the ground. Here's an example of that. And then make sure you do this ponder module and make sure that we're filling the majority of the page here, at least 80% of the page. Last week I saw a few that were cutting a little short. So in order to get full points for the book, make sure you fill up this page. And that is it for this week. So if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments section for this week's announcement. Good luck.